All right, we're working on version 2, and I want you to just break things down with me really quickly. I'm just going to don't worry about what's written on the page quite yet. I just want you to think about it in these terms. Put your middle finger of your left hand on the 7th fret of the 3rd string. Okay? You want to play that note, then you're going to move that same middle finger up to the 9th fret. Okay? Then you're going to take your first finger and put it on the 8th fret of the 2nd string. Then you're going to take this middle finger and put it on the 9th fret of the 1st string. Okay? And then you're going to take your pinky and put it on the 11th fret of the 2nd string. Okay? And then come back down. Back to this middle finger. Back to this first finger on the 8th fret. Middle finger goes down to the 9th fret on the 3rd string. And then bring that back down to the 7th fret. Okay, so walk it back again. Here we go. You're going to end up with this. Sorry. Okay, so each thing one at a time. Again, middle finger starts on the 7th fret of the 3rd string. You're going to take that middle finger, move it up 2 frets to the 9th fret. Then you're going to take your first finger and put it on the 2nd string. Okay, then you're going to take your middle finger and bring it up to the 1st string onto the 9th fret. Then take your pinky and put it on the 11th fret of the 2nd string. Now notice I left these guys down, okay? This ring finger's not doing anything, okay? But I left these two down when I put the pinky. And then you come back down. Middle finger on the 9th fret of the 1st string, then first finger on the 8th fret of the 2nd string. Middle finger goes down to the 3rd string onto the 9th fret, and then moves back down to the 7th. Okay, that's what you do in this song, this motion. Okay, if you can get good at just knowing what's happening, it helps out a lot. So here's what we're going to do. When you start off with this song, you're going to start with an open 3rd string. Then you're going to pinch these guys. Then you're going to start with your middle finger on the 7th fret. And then move it up to the 9th fret. And then index finger plays 8. Okay, so it ends up sounding like this. And now we're on to the first full measure. Okay, middle finger goes to the 9th fret here onto the 1st string, and you play this roll. Okay, and it keeps going. And we're halfway through measure 2 at this point. Okay, I'm going to start over again. Open G string, open on the 3rd string. Pinch. Middle finger plays the 7th fret of the 3rd string, moves up to the 9th fret. Index finger plays the 2nd string, and then while you are in the middle of this roll, middle finger is going to jump from the 3rd string to the 1st string, and then you play this roll. Okay, again. Middle finger on 7th fret, bring it up to the 9th fret. Drop your first finger on the 8th fret of the 2nd string, and then while you're going under the roll, move your middle finger up to the 1st string. Okay, you end up with this. All right, the next thing you're going to do is move that pinky to the 11th fret of the 2nd string. Okay, you end up with this roll. Now, really, that open string I just ended on, on the 2nd measure you have this, and then you're going to drop this down right here with your pinky, and then come back down to the 8th fret. Okay, so that 2nd measure looks like this. Okay, I would isolate. I'd make that 2nd measure by itself. I'd work on this. 11th fret, back down to 8th fret. Okay? Take it nice and slow. Then what you do is take this middle finger, move it back down to the 9th fret of the 3rd string, take your first finger off and just roll. Okay? And that gets you through that whole first line. last thing you're gonna do, move your first finger down to the 8th fret. This is the first note of the second line, and then move the middle finger back up here and pinch. Okay, that gets you through a little bit of the whole cycle. Then it starts over again. Okay, so you just ended up with here it is again. This is your second line. That's your pinch. Then it starts over again. Okay, your middle finger goes back to the 7th fret, move it back up to the 9th fret. This is pretty much the same. But we dropped this pinky earlier. Okay, so we're actually getting rid of one of the rolls in the middle of that section there. Okay, so starting again on the second line, we're gonna start off with the 7/9. So the 7/9, which is the 3rd and 4th beat of the first measure of the second line. So we go like this. So we're on measure 6 right now. Okay, drop your pinky. And the last thing you're going to do is take your pinky and just bring it up to the 12th fret. Okay, so it's a little odd to start like start in the middle of measure 6. It's awkward because your pinky has to be down like this. So I would just start with the same spot I just did. So the second line, you end up with starting on 7/9 right there on the end of measure 4. Then you drop your pinky. And then just drop everything and move your pinky to the 12th fret of the first string. Okay? So this is the whole thing. Okay, that's fast. I would take it slower, but at least you know the context now of what you're working on. Take your time with all this. If you don't get this week, the main thing you want to work on is just the motion of which finger is playing what. But we have plenty of time for this section here. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'll talk to you next week.